Well, as for a little moment, this is something where I did my first video on this and kind of ended up giving up on the project for a while because I had a few other things to work on and make videos about. But it just so happened that sometime a while back I started a video where I kind of worked on a carving of a Santa Claus from Ukraine, or even something close to that, because of like what's in his hands and all, and that is something which I kind of did more research, found out a little more, kind of changed the pattern around a little bit, and made it from these blanks. But I did want to come on and say that since I'm pretty much kind of getting done with my shows, and since life is kind of calming down, getting a little easier for me, I'm kind of decided to come on here and continue this video, and won't have these ready this year, but did decide to come on here and try to continue the series a little bit, just to kind of have a special observance video for the people in Ukraine this Christmas, because we know that, it's hard in their world, and and especially since they were invaded last March, it's probably harder now for them over the holidays to see how the holidays have to be for them. But I decided for a special observance for them, I'd come on here and finish carving these, show a little more demonstration as to how I do it. Where first of all, now we are going to go around the ruffle of the hat. So that is going to be the step right here. Come around the little hat ruffle and kind of make the little lines come in. And oh, I tell you, a little work like this, it's just gonna get us all to where we're probably going to see the other side of things, see the other side of the world. And I was kind of hoping by now one of these days I would get these done and maybe even have it for some kind of charity that could sell it to make money for Ukraine, because if I tried to do it myself, it would probably be considered fraud, since I don't really have a way to get the money to them. But here's how I kind of make the little V-cut line around the bottom of the ruffle to separate it from the head and the coat. And that is where we come in with this little line right here. And so that's where we get the roundabout for the hat. And we're going to kind of do it on this other one here as well. And this is something where we kind of go about all the angles and take care of the little lines just the way they're drawn, just the way they are, just the way they need to be, and see how it's all gonna work and come out in time to make a good Ukrainian Santa Claus. Of course, this is going to be painted in blue and yellow colors when we're done, to kind of represent Ukraine. And there's little things we made kind of in his hands as part of the drawing of the pattern and the carving lines. So we're going to measure that out and make it so it's going to be a good little statue here. And so by now we come along, and you see, this is where I kind of drew the little kind of wand in his hand, kind of like a little stick he carries. Have yet to find out what the significance of that is. And this right here is like a little bag of goodies that I drew in the other hand. I think we see a place where we can kind of carve some lines along here to make it so that little halfway square that comes up out of the top of his wand is going to be a little square piece and make it so Santa Claus is showing the little square end of the piece there, and so we see that this is how it is all going to come when we get finished with all this. I sort of made this little square out here and made it so he has a little wand coming up right there, and so we're going to try to carve along this other line here as well on the back of the stick to kind of make it so it separates a little bit from the rest, and kind of do it underneath the hand as well. So that is how we're going to make this come about for what we always will need it to be. So take a little work and make it come along. I'm thinking of all things that we got a little marking here, and so that's how that comes along. I say we're going to try to do it on this other one as well, and maybe even take a few steps in a slightly different order here and come about this the way it needs to be. So try to make it so we see the work come on and see it come its way. I say that there's probably little spaces in here we're going to take care of as well. Note how inside here there's that little tiny triangle that has to be cut out as well, so we're going to take care of that one and kind of make another little dent in here to kind of show what it's going to come to be like. And I say that I've got a little place here to look as well. We finally got that. But just to make sure we kind of try to get this right, it's best to look at the first one to try to see where we're coming along. I've got other little cuts to make here, and so that's where this little cut is going to be, and so we got the work coming along here just fine, I say. And that's how the little work shall make its way in to the little Ukrainian Santa. There's a little line down here below the hand. We're going to make a V cut along that to cut that little place out as well. Try to get along the lines and make it so it's going to just show how Santa comes along with a little bit of work here. And maybe, just maybe, try to make this other little cut down here along the side of the stick, and I'd say make it so the hand shall come along. I'd say I probably got a little deep into that there, but we're gonna make it come along just fine. Make it so it all just kind of goes. And so there we go. Just chipped off part of the hand, but we can make up for that eventually. That's just a little blunder there. We can take care of that. And so now it's time we kind of make that little line that separates the hand from the cuff of the coat. So we get this much done in this part and kind of make it so we're going to cut along this other one as well and go along the same lines to it. Make it so it's going to have a good little hand in the end. And so as for the work we got done, we're getting this right for sure. I say that little work comes along and we make things so we're gonna get down to the rod and see what it's going to be. And so this is what the final cut's going to come down to, and I see that we have a little place to make in the back of the hand here, and we might as well probably trim this one a little bit as well, just to make it a little more like the other. So that's how we got this much to come out so far. I'd say there's a little place here where we're going to make another little separation here down in the bit of the hand where there's a little space between the stick and the front of the coat where the little hand is going to make its way in and show us all we got little work in our hands. And I say, oh, the work is fine and it's coming a long way, and we're gonna make the little cut here. And so it all comes down to being just this and making the little thing as it goes. I say just a little cut to make the rod in the hand, and so and so and so. I say this is how much farther we've come along. We're going to try to make these same little cuts in this other little one as well, and try to make it so it's going to be a little standoffish. And so that's how we get the work done and make it so it shall be better in life for us. And so with this little cut here, it's just going to make it so we got a little line here, and see, it's just how this is going to go. I'll say that this is just a little place where when we draw this line, it's going to make it so the staff is going to stick out a little more, kind of like we've got it to do here. Probably a little place to go along and make the little lines come out a little better, a little deeper. I say that this is where the cut shall be made. The cut in the staff and the rod. I say the Santa shall come out nice. Finally, we got the little staff cut out here. We're going to try to make another little cut to make it a little bit thinner at the ends and see how this is going to be when we get done. And so I say that these little lines we're going to make out the rest of the stick and the staff, and so see how Santa's going to be. Finally, the work shall come along in the Santa I see and take us to the point where we got the stick to come out. This is what it's going to be like when we get it all done. We've got a little extra work put in here as well. Got to kind of cut another little line, make it so we're going to have the stick behind the front of the hand, not so close, and kind of make it so it's going to stand in its right direction, and then take it where it's going to be down to its last end. And so we got the work here, got the work there, and I say a little line in the path of the work. It's just kind of the place where it's going to be a good line. Make it so we got a little place in the line of the work, and then we're going to come down to it, make it so we're going to see a little place at the end of this back that needs to be chipped out. We got that, and we're going to take care of it on this one too, and say that finally when it comes down, we've got that. So we're gonna kind of make the cut along the hand in the place where it meets the beard, and try to make that little narrow line cut, and try to come along the side of the mustache here and make this little other line cut, and we come out with the hand on one side. And for all we see, it's a work of art that when it comes down and makes its way down to us to see the very light of day, I say. I say, come on, the work shall take its way up to us, and finally we come up here to the place where the hand is, and a little ways to cut up, make another little line here, so it's all going to shine right in the hand, and make it so it's going to be a little ways it's going to be. So this little work, it's going to make its way through us, but I say we've probably got enough in for a video today. This is a series that will come on very rarely. It'll take place in its own time, and I say that I've got 2 more shows to go this year, and got 2 more weeks to work in the school system before they let out for breaks. So I say that the work is coming its way and making its way to us, and sometimes there's just little details you gotta take along the way, but I feel like at this point I have finally carved the stick out to about to where it needs to be to make the Santa like it ought to be, and so it's a little work coming this way, and we're managing it fine and well. There's going to be a few more steps to take along the way to carve out the rest, but we'll take care of all those in their own time. Do believe by now it's probably about time I turn the video off and kind of let it upload so I can download it to my computer and upload it to YouTube. But as far as how the whole process goes, and do think my hands are getting a little tired from carving, so see you later.